Would you agree if I said that most of you are lying to yourselves? Do not be offended. I do not say this to wound you. I say it because I know the work you have been doing. Each night as you lie down to sleep, you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. You try faithfully to feel it real, and yet the outer scene remains unchanged. The condition you have imagined remains only imagined. The word you have waited for has not been spoken. And something within you whispers, why does the law not answer me? Perhaps I was never meant to have it. But I tell you, the doubt is not the failure. The failure is this. You do not know what you are doing. Every time you speak to yourself as one who has not received, you undo it. Stay with me, for what I am about to share will correct the mistake that is undoing your assumption before it ever has the chance to harden into fact. Let me tell you the truth. You walk through your day asleep. You rise, you look upon the world, you speak to others. You react to what they say. You absorb their moods, their opinions, their judgments, without even knowing you are doing it. Someone cuts you off in traffic, and you become the annoyed one. Someone does not return your call, and you become the rejected one. Someone speaks harshly, and you become the wounded one. You do not pause. You do not ask, is this who I choose to be? You simply absorb the impression and wear it as your identity. This is why your inner speech is not yours. It is a collection of reactions to everything that happened to you during the day. You think you are praying when you sit in the silence at night. But for the hours before that, you have been praying unconsciously through every reaction, every complaint, every moment you allowed the outer world to tell you who you are. Most men live like this. They believe they are choosing, but they are only responding. They are leaves blown by the wind of circumstance, and then they wonder why their life does not change. It cannot change because you are not directing it. You are only reacting to it. And that is the great illusion. You believe you are awake, but you are asleep to your own power. And until you realize that your consciousness is the only reality, your world will never change. Now I shall give you the exercise for the next 24 hours. It is a strict discipline of your inner speech. As you go about your day to day, pay close attention to the questions that rise within you. You will notice that doubt never comes as a fact. It comes as a question. Why hasn't it happened yet? What if it does not work out? Why haven't they reached out? Questions are the language of lack. They demand proof from the outer world. Here is the rule. When the question arises, do not answer it. Do not argue with it. Do not try to force a positive thought to replace it. Simply close the question. Turn it into a statement, but do not use the language of the future. Never say, I will have it. The future is a state of waiting. Speak in the present. When you catch yourself asking, why hasn't it happened yet? Simply tell yourself, it is already settled. If the mind whispers, what if it does not work out? Answer it with, everything is taken care of. And when you wonder why they have not reached out, close the thought with, they are already on their way. Notice the difference. You are not forcing a feeling. You are simply choosing a natural reaction. Just as a man does not stand at the counter asking the clerk if he truly bought the bread after he has paid, do not stand in your own mind asking if your desire is truly yours. Take the inner receipt and walk away. Immediately after you state the fact, let the breath fall out of you slowly. Feel the quiet relief of a burden that has been lifted. Then simply return to your ordinary task. Wash the cup, walk down the street, attend to the work of the day. Why must you do this? Because a man who has already received does not sit frozen in anxious thought. He does not wait by the door. He enters the Sabbath. He returns to his ordinary life with a quiet mind. This return to the natural and the ordinary is the seal. It tells your deeper mind that the inner conversation is over. You are no longer asking. You are living from the fact. Let me tell you about a man who came to me years ago. He was faithful. Every night he entered the state akin to sleep. He imagined the end, but for months the outer scene did not shift. He was exhausted. I asked him about his days. He confessed that while his nights were filled with faith, his days were filled with worry. He was constantly asking the outer world for proof. He was undoing his own work. I gave him a simple instruction. For one day, he was to stop asking questions. When the doubt rose, he was to state the fact and simply return to his ordinary tasks. He returned to me a week later. The heaviness was gone from his face. I asked him what changed. He said, the night became easy. Because he had stopped fighting the day, his mind was no longer exhausted when he lay down. He did not have to force the feeling. It was simply there. This is what happens when you align your day. The night does not fix the day. The day prepares the night. When you cease asking the outer world for proof, your assumption no longer feels like a forced performance. It feels like a quiet possession. It feels natural. From this moment, the questioning ends. You are no longer the one who waits for the world to speak. You are the one who speaks, and the world listens. Do not look for signs. Do not wait for the outer scene to validate your new inner speech. The outer world is only an echo, and an echo cannot speak until you have spoken first. For the next 24 hours, be brazen in your assumption. When the old question rises, state the fact, move your body, return to your day. You have the absolute power to change the conversation. And when you change the conversation, you change the world. It is already settled. Walk in that certainty. Now, let us go into the silence.